My heart.
I don't identify myself as a black person anymore. I identify myself as a Jamaican person.
I mean, I've always identified as a Grenadian.
American one, and I'm not black. Everybody was shocked at that statement. Like, you're not black? What are you then? I'm like, I'm a person. What is black? So what are you? Yellow, like lemonish green? What is
with?
It's difficult because I don't identify as being black. Also, like I was
I'm not black, I'm African.
Is that not black?
No. Oh, it's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? I came in a plane, they came in chains. Yeah, I'm passenger in their cargo.
And I was 17 to go to college. So I will start off with the fact that I never really saw myself as a black person growing up. I still don't. Of course, it's something.
I'm not black. This is black. I'm not black. I'm not African either. I live in Africa. I'm Somali. I speak Somali. This is my flag.
I don't like this. Like, why are you telling me I have to do this because I'm black when it's been already pointed out that I'm Haitian? Why do I now have to submit to this idea of being black? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And that's what you don't get. A lot of people are
black. I have never and will never identify myself as black. And I'll elaborate as to why I'm saying this, because this is needed so you can pretty much understand that just because I look like you, that does not mean I identify myself as such. So for instance, sweetheart, I am Congolese.
The world is colorblind. I'm not a black man. Yeah. Look at my face. Yeah. I'm more like brown.
And
I'm not black. Let me say that again. I am not black. Okay?
Hear me out. Growing up, my mom absolutely hated when we refer to ourselves as black. She's like, you're not black, you're Nigerian.
I'm sick and tired of hearing a lot of people saying things about black people this, Africa this, and that. Let's get some facts straight. If you hate Africa so much, that's fine. Don't try to find out where your ancestors are from. It's okay, you're born here, accept that. We accept that too. But we never force our narratives on you that are over here, or people who claim to be born over here. That's fine. But you guys find it so okay and normal to talk nonsense and say stupid things about Africans or the people that migrated from Africa to the United States like it's the end of the world for them. Listen, let me tell you something you don't understand. Just because we come over here to adventure into things does not make us less of who we are. You should be actually grateful for the fact that Africans come over to the United States or to the other countries to help liberate you guys from the things you don't even know. Okay? It's just like in the Bible, like when God told Adam and Eve not to eat the forbidden fruit. I'll put it this way. We are the forbidden fruit. There's a lot of things you guys didn't know existed until we started coming here. If we didn't come here, some of you wouldn't even have that mindset to be trying to endeavor in different type of businesses. I'm not saying you guys haven't been doing that for a while, but at the same time, we are the evolution of you. Not the other way around. Because the whites are over there still playing that card on your head all the time. But guess what? We show in within a year, we get in houses, buying cars, feeding numerous family members, starting businesses. Should I continue? There's a lot of African businesses out there that employ black Americans. Regardless of their backgrounds, they still give them jobs. But some of you are over here easily bashing people that you don't even know about. Some of you find it easy to say, oh, you African booty scratcher, you this, you that. What about you if we have to choose to call you a certain name? You'll be so depressed easily. We don't get depressed. We don't. We just see things, find a way to move on from it. And that's why we believe we are mentally strong. We don't play on all this emotional stuff like every other person play over here. We get knocked down, we get up, we move. Now you're talking about the Essence show Where were all the black Americans when they were selling it or trying to look for board members? None of you wanted to buy it until a Nigerian and a Kenya decided to step in to take over that. And still yet, you hate on it, but guess who attended it more? Yeah, you. yeah, I saw some of you over there. But you're pretending, talking nonsense. You ever want to try out the fufu you can get? Guess what? We don't eat all this bugger. We don't do all that. We eat real food. That's why when you want to get physical and somebody knocks you out like at one blow, 7 apples, you're going to get some. So the truth hurts. You're talking about your ancestors. You're talking about you not being from Africa. Some of you don't even know your great-grandfather's last name. Yeah. And nobody said you can't go to Africa. Nobody said that. Book a flight. You have a passport. Passport gives you the right to travel. Use it. Use it. Explore. Because there's a saying, a man who travels is more knowledgeable than a man who stays at home. So don't be out there being sad, being pitiful, trying to arrange groups of people to agree on your own ideology because you're not well versed and educated. I have been to so many countries. I have witnessed a lot of lifestyles. But I don't know about you. Maybe you go from Texas to New York and you think you already traveled. I'm sorry. Going to Jamaica does not make you a traveler. I said that. Going to Cancun does not make you a traveler. Yes, I said that. But at the same time, ignorante, I bet you didn't even understand that, because when you don't have ears, ask questions. So, I'm saying this to some of you that find it so easy to run their mouth, what they call butter. Like, you spit out nonsense just because you want to say, oh, I'm not from Africa. I'm not from... You don't have to be from Africa. You can be from Egypt. Even Egypt is part of Africa. You can be from some other country. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. At least if you're not from Africa, tell us where your great-grandfather or your great-great-great-great-grandfather told you that his father is from. At least maybe you can, if you can answer your own questions, maybe you'll be emotionally fine. Because I feel like you're just running around like a dog without tail, chasing something that we don't even know. Trying to put your bad energy on other people who didn't even cause your problem. And you forget about the people who came to Africa or who still come into Africa to take stuff. And those people that brought your great-grandfather here, you forget about them. Now we the problem? Actually, I'll put it this way. If you want to get some lands, let me know. I will help you. If you want to become a citizen of Nigeria, to be precise, I will help you. Don't be sad. At least I'm giving you that option right now. Don't be sad.
That comment section is the prime example of when you start handing out participation trophies to people. Clearly, you guys have failed in reading comprehension because you're not comprehending what I'm saying at all. And at this point, I don't even care to be politically correct. Like, I'm really going to tell you how I feel about this whole situation. Some people really decided to say that Black America culture has just as much culture as any other part of the world. Does that even sound right to you? Let's be real. When people start talking about African and Caribbean culture, there's depth. Like, we talk about music, we talk about rituals, we talk about traditions, we talk about family dynamics. Now, compare that to Black Americans. What is the consistent tradition? What is it? What is the unified identity? I'm listening. There isn't one. No tribe, no homeland, no shared customs. It's all scattered. And I know what everybody's going to say. That's because of slavery. Well, guess what? It is what it is. Like, it's a fragmented group with no traditional foundation. No unanimous food, no universal values, and no sacred customs that were passed down from generations. I had one lady telling me in the comments that soul food isn't necessarily Southern food. What? People are talking about jumping the broom? When's the last time you've been at a wedding and saw someone jump the broom? Like, be real. Come on. I will say that some people in the comments were actually insightful. Like, you guys did give me some insight and did exactly respond in the way that I intended, and I want to say thank you to you guys. Now, there's one guy that actually made a little bit of sense. He said, these countries that you're talking about is pretty much the same size of our states. Now, I think that's exactly the reason why foreigners have an issue identifying what Black culture is. Now, what I will say is that the problem is America is just too big. Like, the South has their own culture. The North has their own culture. People in Arizona don't even have a culture. You have the West. You have Texas. Like, the problem is, it's just too large of a space for one blanketed culture. Then you have some people telling me that I need to go back to where I come from, and you can't wait till Trump deports me. Well, guess where I'm going to go to? Here. Like, I was born here. I'm Black American. Technically, my family is immigrants. And now everybody decided to learn a new word over the weekend, talking about tether. Like, you actually understand that people don't come here to mooch off of Black culture, right? Like, they come here for the opportunities. Now, the opportunities is what keeps people here. However, that's the reason why they come here, and they still talk in their native tongue. They still act the same. They cook the same foods. Sorry, I had to get back to my tether job, but then you had some people saying that we are the culture. That's like the equivalent of these girls that run around saying, I am the table. What is that supposed to mean? Like, is that supposed to be some profound statement? At the end of the day, you guys did convince me that Black America does have culture. It's just identified a little bit differently. What I'm used to is not what it actually is here. Like, there is a lot of separation between states and cities, and I viewed it as unanimous across the entire nation, not thinking that, there would be a lot of subcultures, and which would then make up the full culture.
Okay, so did we not just see that whole first clip, about 2 minutes plus, a little bit over, and you saw people from different places, right? They might have been African, Caribbean, whatnot, or whatever, and they were each talking about how it is that they are not Black, that is not how they identify, correct? They stated that they might have been Ghanaian, they might have been Nigerian, they might have been Kenyan, they might have been from Cameroon, they might have been, Zimbabwe, they might have been from, Haiti or Jamaica, anywhere else, right? And I want people to understand that this conversation only exists because of Black Americans. Because of how it is that Black Americans primarily identify versus everybody else. This is why you have all of these folks out here stating that they don't see themselves, they don't identify, they don't call themselves, they don't do any of those things, right? They're specifically laying a finite line, letting people know, oh no, I'm not Black American. I don't consider myself Black. I'm Nigerian, right? We got tribes, culture, traditions, this is that and the third, all this other, right? But again, when Black Americans do the exact same thing as we've always done, right? We get called xenophobic. We're told that we are being a hateful group. We're told that we're being segregationalist. We're told that we are the same as the Caucasians directly out here, the Europeans who have colonized all over the world, because we're trying to separate ourselves. But yet you were just able to hear representatives from a variety of places state who it is that they are. And again, like I said, as a Black American, I have no problem with that. You are Nigerian, you want to call yourself that? No problem. And you're here in America? No problem. It is A-okay with me. The problem that I have is when these same folks that run and flee, because somebody wanted to give a very smart comment. It was a guy. He said that, quote unquote, that he came by way of a plane and Black Americans came by way of cargo. Interesting. That's very interesting. And again, time and time again, I happen to get other people out there that try to tell me that, oh, this is not indicative of a whole group and this, that, and the third and all this other type of stuff. Well, again, if you are not out there trying to calm this down, giving a video or something against the narrative that they are stating, then I'm going to say it is all. And I don't care how anybody feels about it. I really don't. Because obviously looking at these videos and a multitude of other videos that I've covered over the months and years, it seems as though other people don't care about Black American feelings as well. Y'all will say any and everything that y'all want to say. It's very interesting that every nation, every group out here, no matter where it is that they come from, has a derogatory slur for Black people, right? But yet, when you look at Black Americans, you ask them like, yo, do you guys have, different types of negative words for everybody else out? We don't. We didn't make anything up. We don't have the history of doing that because, again, that was not our focal point, right? We were not trying to say that we are so different from everybody else directly out here. We're saying that we have our own thing here, but we're a part of a larger space, a larger area, right? So we're respecting the fact that, there are other people directly out here, but we're also stating to people that, hey, we got our own little spot here, and this is what we do. This is our culture. This is our food. These are our traditions. This is the way that we dance. And you know the craziest part, every time I listen to anybody that is from somewhere else try to speak on Black American culture and traditions, it's like, do y'all actually realize how large the United States actually is? Do you actually realize how large and how vast every single state is? Like, we have mountain ranges. We have areas where you could just, see as far as the eye can see. You have other areas that have mountains and that have snow. You have other areas that have desert. You have other areas that might have a combination, right? And then within that, you have a variety of Black people that live in those areas, right? You have Black people that live in the plains. They have their own cultures and traditions. You have Black people directly on the East Coast that have their own cultures and traditions. You got Black people down south that got their own cultures and traditions. People in the Midwest that got their own cultures and traditions. You got people that are on the East Coast that have their own cultures and traditions. And then within that, you still have another divided group of cultures and traditions and dancing. Like I said, it's so crazy. It's very interesting how a lot of people who, especially Africans, they feel that, we are so diverse and this, that, and the third. Nobody's more diverse and all this other type of stuff. Like us, we got, a multitude of languages and everything like that, all that other type of stuff. That's cool. That's great. Right? No problem. But to then make it seem as though that you're the only group out here that looks the way that you do, that in a sense has a very diverse, distinct culture, and then it's, sub-split and all this. Like, that's crazy. That's 100% crazy. Then I have one of the other guys directly up here talking about, Black Americans, and, you guys are trying to say that your culture is prevalent, all around the world and all this other type of stuff, and that it's just as, popular or as significant as, other cultures of the world, trying to make it seem like we're crazy. And we are 100% correct. Again, like I said before, when you go to Japan, you literally have a nice size amount of Japanese people who are locking their hair. Like they just go out there and put this on for fun. They wear braids, locks, twist, they got fades, all of that. And then they're wearing the same, quote unquote, as white people used to call it, urban style as Black Americans here. They're not running around trying to look like Africans in Nigeria. They're not running around trying to look like Africans in Kenya. They're not trying to look like Africans in Zimbabwe and all these other. They're not doing that. They're not. They're not trying to sit up there and dress like everybody in the Caribbeans. They're not doing that. They're dressing like Black Americans. The same baggy clothes, styles, listening to the same music, all of that. They do the same thing over there in Russia, Germany. Same thing over there in up there in Europe, Australia, South America, Canada. Like I said before, just because you don't realize what it is because of your ignorance doesn't mean that we don't have a culture that's just as significant, if not more, than the other cultures directly out here. Like I said, Black Americans are the most copied and the most imitated group out of all of existence. Every single continent, somebody is copying something from Black America. And that is just a fact. And that's not Black Americans having a main character syndrome. It just is what it is. It's just the fact that other people don't want to recognize it. Just like you don't want to recognize the fact that when we tell you that we are Black American, that we are indigenous, that we are original, that we are here, that is exactly what it is that we mean. But no, you guys want to come back around and tell us like, oh no, we know who we are, right? We're African. I come from Nigeria. Like, can you trace what is your tribe? What is your language? What is your religion? What is the foods that you eat? That we tell you that we got soul food. And you're like, well, that's what, you had to, because that was scraps. That's what white people set up there and gave you. And you do realize that even if you're given something, you can transform that into something completely different. It doesn't matter. Even if it was scraps, we transformed it into something that culturally is identified out of this whole planet. It is identified as Black food. Black American food. It's not African food. Irregardless of whatever one of the group of African women that I showcased almost like half a year ago were on a podcast stating that, oh, you know, Black American soul food is really African soul food. No, you have your food are Nigerian foods. Your foods are Ghanaian foods. Your foods are whatever, Zimbabwe, Lagos, whatever it is, whatever places that you got, those are those foods, because you're eating specifically from those grounds, from those areas, from those animals of which are located there. You are not in no way, shape, or form eating Black American food. You're not. Let's stop the lies. Let's stop doing all of this nonsense. Stop doing that. Like I said, that's crazy to me. And again, as stated before, irregardless of whatever it is that Black Americans tell people, y'all always try to come through and act like you know more than us, and you don't. You literally, you don't. You just got to America and you think that you know everything about everything, and you don't. This is why a lot of y'all are currently getting deported right back to Africa at this moment in time. Like I said, it's crazy. And it's all because of the disrespect that y'all been giving to Black Americans for the longest time possible. And again, Black Americans made it comfortable for you to even be here. But yet that still doesn't even register. Still doesn't register. And the same thing that has always happened, we've tried to embrace Africans. We've tried to come together. We've tried to give an olive branch. We've tried to build bridges, and everything has been burnt down. And we've been told that, you know, we are a kata, you know, we are slaves, and da. You guys are better than and greater and all this other type of stuff. Look where it is that you guys come from, this great, brilliant, beautiful continent of where everything came from. But yet that great, big, beautiful continent is the same one that you're not even fighting for, that you're running. You're literally running from Africa to go to Australia, to go to Europe. And those are the same people that put you in the circumstances that you are in. Going to the United Kingdom, even worse. You're going to China. You're going to Canada. You're going to the United States. You're going everywhere else, building yourselves up there, establishing yourselves on those other land masses, and bringing nothing back to your homeland. Nothing. And you got the nerve to sit up there and try to critique Black Americans on what it is that they are, what their culture is, trying to tell us what is and what's not. Wow. And I told people some years ago that there's going to be a moment in time where Black people will start to wake up and realize who it is that they are. And when it gets to that point, you're going to really see how it is that the world looks at you. If you think that the world hates you now or sees you as a certain type of thing right now, just wait until you fully realize, until you fully conceptualize what it is that you actually are. That's when you're going to really see everything. And it's going to be undeniable. And there's not going to be any coming back from that either. And I'm talking about for those who are going to come against Black Americans, those who are going to hate Black Americans, those who are going to do anything to try to derail Black Americans from what it is that they are about to do, going to do, and accomplish. So, like I said, for everybody else out there, y'all better enjoy what y'all able to do right now, because it's going to be vastly different. It's going to be vastly different. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.